Hi, and thank you for joining me on another episode of A Voice for Treasures from the Past. Today, we're going to look at that lithograph that I've been finally looking into, and been so exciting to find all this fun stuff. I did want to just go over why my videos, if you're following, there were a handful of people that you could tell were starting to watch it, and thank you for doing that. It's awesome. Hope you're enjoying it anyway. Um, and then why they've come back. I took them off because comments were getting a little snarky or a little snotty, and so that was one thing. I shut the comments off, and then there was a recommendation that which was good information. It was just a recommendation that or to evaluate whether having this series of videos on social media would appear that I was trying to sway the public or the world or whatever it is on this particular lithograph on its authenticity. So initially, then I went, oh yeah, that makes it makes total sense. Okay, I'll just shut it off for now and we'll wait. Then it occurred to me, along with other things in the background, in the behind the scenes, I this was all organic. I started my videos. I started this little channel. I don't really have many subscribers. I'm not looking for clicks. Don't subscribe. Don't care. Really. I'm enjoying it myself. Sorry, I didn't mean about like that, but I'm really it's not what I'm about. I was having fun doing art. I've talked about that in my other videos, some things I've had for years. I've never looked at them, just stuff from states and things like that. Whatever. That said, um, this all unfolded in the public eye, and it was all honest, authentic, and organic. And I look at these videos and I go, wow, this is pretty amazing. Uh, Personally, I feel that I'm really excited to have gone through all this. And so that said, um, I then came to the conclusion, rather abruptly, what am I thinking? You know, if this particular artwork, this lithograph, does not have its own, stand up on its own weight, it's fine. That is perfectly fine. That's not why I started this at all. I started this channel or these videos. It was to share a history of art that I find and I have found over the years. This kind of mutated into a little something a little more exciting, at least in my opinion. So I am going to buck that or disregard, in a way, that suggestion because whatever happens is going to happen with this lithograph. It should stand on its own, and if it does not, then it doesn't. That's okay. I will say that uh, along with that statement is that I am personally not going to chase the authenticity of this work. And what I mean by that is that I find a ton of joy. I've talked about this in my other videos, my earlier videos, not of this lithograph, but how I just enjoy the history and seeking and searching. It's just fun, and it's just art. It's art and antiques and things I love to search. So while all this was going on over the years and over the time that I've been, found out who, at least it looks to be, it took a lot of the joy out of it. It's very surprising. I will say this, and I'll say it limited because there has been some help, and that's awesome. Some assistance in it. I would expect massive, like not massive, but I would have expected some more interest in the name of historical stuff, historical, like even if it doesn't ever and I want to say it probably will never get authenticated fully into Odilon's work. And not because of what it is, its merits, anything like that, is because I'm not going to chase it. If the universe doesn't make it so, then it wasn't meant to be because it is what it is. I've kept saying that. It is what it is. All of the facts I have inadvertently um, displayed to the world, essentially, or whoever wants who looks at YouTube. And would I have gone that way if I knew, years ago? No, probably not. But it's kind of the genie's out of the bottle. And with that, why not go the whole route, go the whole way? And I hope that folks that really love art, that may love Odilon Redon's work, or just are passionate about art, and are the regular folks, if I may, not the, if I may, not the, art is on um, the the portfolio balance sheet, and that's all that matters. I, I don't care in a way. So, in what I mean is that that's I'm not going to chase this. We're not going to do it. We're going to offer it. I am going to offer this out, and I'm continuing to give honest, pure uh, data and research findings, and it's really getting good. It's a lot of fun, and that's all it needs. If you're into mysteries and all those other things I just talked about, maybe this is for you. So remember, without going through everything, I do have, and if you're just tuning into this one, I have a series of videos. I guess I should say what I was just talking about is it just started from organically on a kind of an evaluation to finally get to the bottom of this little lithograph that I've had, and it just kind of unfolded. And so now here we are. And if you go back and look at those other videos, you'll be able to see all the like the research search steps that all came up very compelling. I'm going to use that. And I've been very excited in times and said, fine, it is what it is. So there we go. So then what I wanted to get at was I had mentioned, or show, rather, I mentioned, I showed that indeed two of the faces in this lithograph are exact matches. We're not talking close. We're not talking near. We're talking exactly the same as Figure by Odilon Redon, which is this face here. And I cut it off, but you look at my other videos. The Satan plate on Flowers of Evil? No, anyway, Flowers of Evil, I believe. It was a series. Okay. So that's over. Can you see that? It's over here. It's this one here. And you can look at the other video. Hopefully you can get back to that and see it. So, and not close, not a little bit, not sort of similar. Exactly. So I said, not sure if I remember if I said this on one of the videos, but I think there's a third. Now, I had implied a while back in my videos that I thought because you can't see it here, but this little bit right, can you see that? Up here is the moon or the sun. And it looks like it's maybe other than ink. I'm not gonna say it. Might be Connie crayon, kind of brownish, greasy stuff. That said, um, I had said that there might be uh, some other face in there, and I was gonna go ahead and use of transparencies, and honestly, the the orientation of the first two that I just said that are guaranteed the same. Look at my videos; they are the same. In other words, they're the same, almost like the same stone or the same plate or the same something. Obviously, you'll see a difference, but you'll see that it's exactly the same. That said, this seems to be this is Cyclops, and I said that this one here I thought was maybe a werewolf. If you remember or seen that video, I'm like, that's probably a werewolf. Wow, that's cool. Then the enlightenment or the shock that this face and the one over here to the right are exact uh, from Dylan's known works, no question. I went back and went, what would be so unusual that it might be that? And guess what? If we, I don't have a way to turn this in orientation. I might, but I didn't spend a lot of time doing it. I think logically we'll get it. So, excuse me. So if you look here at this face, you'll see multiple lips, and I don't know. All I know is Odilon was on this. We know this is Odilon. I'm not gonna say experts that I know more than you do. Okay, but if we look here at the nose, little point, look at the point, multiple layers of lips. Which what was he thinking? Don't know. But it certainly, if I could turn that head and face it this way, I think it's this. I think it's Cyclops. So now what do we have? Oh, by the way, the good news is, or the bad news was, being that I'm not going to chase this, this story with this lithograph. In other words, I'm going to let it stand, rest on its laurels. I think that's all there's to it. But the good news is that I know most people, many, everybody. I'm not everybody is has eyes. They have logic, and um, we may not have to be a scholar to see obvious things. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Okay? Uh, Obvious in my previous videos that this is the same face. Obvious that the one over here is the same face. Almost pretty, given the two, and I like to use the word Occam's razor, or the term. If you're not familiar with that, it means, the most obvious answer with the least amount of subjective questions would be it. Well, it's running all over this thing, right? So this appears to be Cyclops at a different angle, potentially at a different angle. Yeah, I mean you can almost see a single eye there. And that's that one's a little bit more of a stretch. The other two aren't. So when you take them all together, absolutely. The question is then, where's this one? Because we got one, two, three. There's four, and then I got the other one cut off as well. And that one's way back. I don't think you could even be able to see that face. But where's this one? Somewhere, my guess. Logically, I don't know because I don't want to. I don't really. I'm not worried about looking like I'm trying to sway the world. Not worried about it. I am just pointing out the obvious. And unless it's pretty obvious. So, that said, could it be somebody? I mean, obviously, until an egg is, or until the chicken's hatched, right? The chicken's not hatched, and it may not hatch ever because I'm not doing what the experiences that I've been seeing. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Uh, I hope folks enjoy this. I hope that folks that believe this is a work, maybe a proof by Odilon Redon that then went into multiple finals, pastels, the figure, uh, and so on. Uh, you'll enjoy it. You like the story. Do your own research. It's, see if you can see what I see with the Cyclops and the figure. I'm sure you will because we've looked at it. It's an exact replica, or so. That said, we don't need to be. Um, well, I can see, and that's all I can tell you. So that said, what's next? Well, maybe nothing. I said that a while back, but then I found that this has all been an amazing discovery. Uh, yeah, the only reason I found these matching faces exactly was because I saw something in the mouth, and I was like, they look like the same mouth, like down like this. So I started putting that, and there was on one of my videos. I honestly didn't know they were the same face. I coincidentally placed the head of the work figure over this one, I believe. Yeah. And it was started looking, I was like, oh my gosh, it's the same thing. Then, of course, once I did the full transparency, made them the same size, used a more detailed high res, it was clear. It's the same one. So um, I offer this information out to the art world and the Odilon Redon lovers, and we may never know we may never know now we may never know because I have decided to let it be what it is. So, uh, but that doesn't mean that the story isn't still here, and it's not a wonderful lithograph. And all the other details are online, and that's it. So, all right. Well, I do have some other works, of course, that I've had for years, and I go through, and I got to the point where I started doing this YouTube, and I want to go through, and I have one I think I'm going to do next, which is by I think I mentioned it before, but it's Biz Littell, Dwayne Littell. He's a cozy wear ceramics, but it's a paint. Anyway, long story, but great one. Contacted the artist, good story. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you again for watching, and I hope. Hope y'all are well. Thanks.